Okay, let's dive into this explainer. We are about to embark on an incredible and honestly kind of terrifying journey. We're going to start right here on our home planet by looking at some of the most massive earthly craters and voids. And then we are zooming out, way out. We'll be traveling into the absolute mind-bending, hostile dead zones of deep space, and eventually plunging into the most extreme environment in our entire solar system. So buckle up, because the scale of what we're about to look at is going to completely change how you view the cosmos.
So, what is the most staggering empty space in the universe? When we look up at the night sky, we tend to think of our universe as this perfectly painted canvas, just absolutely packed with glittering stars, galaxies, and nebula. But the truth? The truth is entirely different. The universe is actually defined by unimaginable emptiness. It is filled with colossal voids, places where the sheer scale of the nothingness is actually pretty frightening. But before we can really wrap our heads around the infinite darkness of space, we need to understand what a void actually looks like on a scale that we can actually comprehend.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we can ground this massive scale using our own planet. Let's look at Earth's most massive voids. First up, we've got the Hang Son Dung Cave in Vietnam. Wildly, this wasn't even discovered until 2009. It's 9 kilometers long, and the cavern is so unimaginably huge that you could comfortably fit an entire city block of 40-story skyscrapers right inside it. Then, look at the Vredefort crater in South Africa. 2 billion years ago, a massive asteroid slammed into Earth, leaving a crater 300 kilometers wide. It's literally so immense that multiple huge cities could fit inside its boundaries. Today, it's so eroded you actually need a satellite in space just to see its true shape. And finally, the Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean. Plunging 11 kilometers deep, it's a watery void so profound that if you took Mount Everest and dropped it straight in, the mountain's peak would still be completely submerged under a mile of water.
Section 1. The Great Nothingness. Now, those earthly voids are massive, for sure. But as we leave Earth's crust behind for the dark, isolated depths of the cosmos, the scale just explodes. 330 million light-years. That is the staggering width of the Mostest void. To put that massive number into perspective, light travels at the absolute speed limit of the universe, right? Yet, even at that maximum speed, a beam of light would take 330 million years just to cross from one side of this desolate dead zone to the other. If the universe were a bustling, crowded city, the Mostest void is basically the ultimate wasteland right smack in the middle of it.
Based on the sheer size of this region, scientists mathematically expected to find around 10,000 galaxies here. And remember, each single galaxy contains billions of stars. But when they actually looked, they found only about 60. That's it. It is so stunningly empty that if our Earth and the Milky Way were placed right in the dead center of the Mostest void, the night sky would be so completely pitch black that human beings wouldn't have even known other galaxies existed until the Hubble Space Telescope was invented in the 1990s. Think about that. We would have spent our entire human history believing we were entirely alone in an endless dark room.
Let's move to Section 2, Trapped in the KBC Void, and see how this builds.
Because if you thought the Mostest void was the ultimate empty space, there is an even larger void out there, and this one comes with a massive plot twist. Enter the KBC void. And no, for our trivia fans out there, KBC does not stand for the game show Khan Banagar Karopati. It's actually named after the 3 astronomers who discovered it, Keenan, Barger, and Cowie. The size of this thing is almost completely incomprehensible. The KBC void is roughly 2 billion light-years wide. That makes it 6 times larger than the Mostest void we literally just talked about. It's a monumentally massive region of nothingness.
Get this, of the entire observable universe, meaning everything humanity can possibly see, this single empty void makes up 2 to 3% of the whole thing. Scientists actually often compare the structure of the universe to Swiss cheese, packed with these large, empty holes surrounded by denser webs of matter. But here is the bombshell, the twist I promised you. We aren't just observing this void through a telescope. Our Earth, our Sun, and our entire Milky Way galaxy are actually trapped right in the middle of it. We are literally living our lives deep inside one of the largest, emptiest holes in the cosmic Swiss cheese.
Section 3, The Edge Paradox.
Knowing that we exist inside this giant pocket of emptiness brings up a pretty dizzying question. Where does the universe actually end? It's the kind of question that makes your head spin. You might assume that if you pick a direction and just fly your spaceship in a perfectly straight line past the KBC void and neighboring clusters, eventually you'd hit a brick wall, right? Or maybe a sudden drop-off into total nothingness. But science tells us something much, much stranger. You wouldn't just fly away forever into the dark.
Eventually, you would return to the exact spot where you started.
This mind-bending concept is what's known as the edge paradox. To really understand this, think of a balloon. Imagine drawing little dots all over a deflated balloon. These dots are the galaxies. Now blow the balloon up. As it inflates, which represents the Big Bang and the continuous expansion of the universe, the dots move further apart from each other. But notice the surface of the balloon itself. It has no edge. There's no cliff to fall off. If you trace a line along the balloon's curved surface, you end up right back where you began. Our universe's reality is curved in a similar, multidimensional way. And the most unsettling part of all this, what exists outside of that expanding balloon? Science honestly has absolutely no idea. It is entirely beyond our physics and observation.
Section 4. Falling into Jupiter.
All right, let's bring our focus back from the abstract, mind-melting edge of the universe and zoom way back in to our own cosmic backyard. We're going in for a visceral, crushing descent into the solar system's most extreme environment, 1,300. That is exactly how many Earths you could cram inside the gas giant Jupiter. Just to give you an idea of this monster's sheer volume, Jupiter's Great Red Spot, that famous storm raging on its surface, is large enough to swallow our entire planet whole. But Jupiter isn't like Earth, you see. It doesn't have a solid, rocky surface to land on. It's a gas giant. So, what would actually happen if you were to fall into it?
Let's walk through the 4 steps of this absolutely harrowing descent. Step 1. The moment you enter the atmosphere, you're greeted by freezing, toxic clouds of ammonia snow and blistering winds whipping around at 600 kilometers per hour. Step 2. As you sink deeper, the sun fades completely. You are plunged into pitch-black darkness, illuminated only by brutal mega lightning strikes that are millions of times more powerful than anything we have here on Earth. Step 3. The pressure begins to build astronomically. Down at this depth, the atmospheric pressure is so intense it would crush a military-grade submarine like an empty soda can in seconds. And finally, Step 4. If you miraculously survived all that pressure, you still wouldn't hit rock. You'd splash into a bizarre, endless ocean of liquid hydrogen, a totally alien sea with absolutely no shores.
But you wouldn't just keep falling forever and pop out the other side. Eventually, beneath thousands of miles of that crushing liquid hydrogen ocean, you would hit something. Scientists theorize that Jupiter possesses a mysterious core, likely made of rock and exotic ice under unimaginable pressure. And this mysterious core alone is estimated to be 10 to 20 times the size of our entire planet.
Section 5. Surviving the gas giant. So, the crucial point is,
Jupiter is a hostile, raging pressure cooker. But that extreme environment really highlights the incredible brilliance of human ingenuity, because despite all those crushing factors, we've actually managed to study it. Back in 1995, humanity threw a massive metal probe called Galileo directly into Jupiter. It transmitted data for just 58 minutes before the incredible heat and pressure melted it like a plastic cup dropped into a campfire. Realizing that suicide missions into the atmosphere were kind of inefficient, NASA changed tactics. In 2011, they sent the Juno probe. Instead of diving in, Juno orbits safely outside, using advanced microwave and gravity sensors to map the liquid oceans and core right through the thick clouds. And because Jupiter is surrounded by a radiation belt so intense it fries electronics instantly, Juno's computer brain is locked safely inside a thick, radiation-proof titanium vault. This incredible success has paved the way for our next massive leaps, the JUICE mission and the Europa Clipper.
And that brings us to a final question I really want to leave you with today. We know Jupiter itself is an apocalyptic nightmare where life as we know it is totally impossible, but it has moons. Moons covered in thick sheets of ice with massive warm liquid oceans hidden deep beneath their crusts. The upcoming missions are heading there right now to find out what's inside. With a parent planet this overwhelmingly hostile, could it be that its moons are harboring the greatest secret in the universe, actual alien life? It is a genuinely thrilling thought. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this journey through the cosmos has sparked your curiosity as much as it has mine. Keep looking up and definitely keep questioning what's out there in the dark.